Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at the bean cob cuffs, okay? This is what they look like, okay? And they were patented in May of 1899. You see that? There you go. Now later on, Harrington and Richards, H&R, they took over production. So the way to, and they look identical. Okay, here's the collection of bean cob cuffs. There's some H&R in mixed with it, which I'll show you the difference in a minute. Okay, you can tell that the H&R stamped, obviously, H&R Arms, Worcester, Massachusetts, and the ones that are actual bean cobs have the 1899 stamp on them. Now some of the HRs that I have another pair that aren't stamped at all. But bean cobs always, in my experience, were stamped. Okay, here's the traditional bean. And the selling point of the bean cobs is, even though they're pretty much similar as far as function, they're adjustable, but they're not swing through. They're much lighter in weight, and the arming button is right here. Okay, so they could be carried unlocked by the police officer. They have a very unique shape. And before I push the button and show you, you'll notice that on the end there's a tiny screw. Well, that's so that a locksmith, if something happened to it, could actually remove the lock mechanism from the cuff, repair it, and replace it. Which I think is the case with these guys. You can see the different color. Alright, now the keyhole went all the way through for some reason. I don't know why. It takes a very teeny tiny key. That's the weird thing. See, in the 1800s, cops had little tiny keys, but sometimes massive cuffs. Well, anyway, so you can see the teeth, notches, goes into the case, like so. And then to arm it, let's get this bad boy in focus. And then to arm it, all you had to do was push this little button, and it clicks. And it's now locked. They also came in leg iron sizes, of which I have 3 examples, but one is the H&R. Okay, good, good, not so good. Alright, you can tell the difference between the bean and the H&R by the connecting chain. If the stamping is scratched off or whatever. This is the bean cob. Look at the twisted chain links. And the H&R, which came later on, you know, in what was it, like the 1930s, I think, or something like that. It has the round welded links. Okay. Now the first leg irons that I got, my brother was at a gun show and he found them, and he sent me a picture and he's like, I found these cuffs, but I don't think you want them because they're kind of scratched up, and you know, and the guy wants $50. I was like, yeah, buy them, hello. So I got them, and much later on I was able to buy an empty box for the leg irons. And of course, right, the most important part right there was ripped off years ago, but you can still read it on the side, which is cool. Yeah, 1 pair, beans, improved pattern, patented May 2nd, 1899. So, So that's how it works sometimes. Sometimes you buy a piece and then, you know, years later you get the box that it came in, or you buy the box and hope to fill it later. In my experience, in the cuffs in my collection, now some of them get that brown patina, others maintain most of their, you know, nickel finish, and this oddball one here. But everything else about these suckers is pretty much identical as far as center link, clevis, swivel, all that stuff. It seems to be the exact same size for these guys, and also for the H&R, with the exception of the leg irons. And you know, they probably just kept all the same machines and the same parts and just changed the stamping, because there's really absolutely nothing different in the mechanism. 7 of them and 3 of the leg irons. Okay, now there's also these guys, which we'll go into on another episode. These are tower beans, and the difference is that the tower beans had the center post, it took a barrel key, and the bean Cobbs took a flat key. Tower beans, actually, there's an interesting story about them that I'll tell you on the next edition, or whenever we get to them. But these things are pretty much still common. You can usually get them for under $100. You know, I mean, unless it had like an original box and key and everything, I would never go over 100 for these things, because, you know, that's why I have so many, because, you know, you're at a yard sale or an auction or something, and you see these guys for, you know, $30, $40, even up to $50. You just buy them. I don't know, you know? It's a sickness. So, alright, well, we covered the arming button. There's the arming button. A very teeny, here. It's a very small mechanism and keyhole. I mean, look, even the whole lock case is smaller than a quarter. And it's paper thin, that key. It really is. And there's 2 notches, because obviously 2 teeth on it, because it had 2 notches in there. You can see where it enters the lock case. Well, there you have it. That's the Bean Cobb cuffs, and you know, that pretty much does it for this edition of Off the Cuff. We'll still look at the tower beans at another time, and I still have a whole lot more videos coming up. I just have to finish editing and shooting them and everything. So I really appreciate you guys watching these. I really hope that it helps, you know, some of the beginner collectors, and for some of the advanced guys, you know, the ones that have been around for a while. You know, I just hope you enjoy them, because it's really fun making them, and I just like sharing the information, you know. And besides, if you're all caught up on Walking Dead, Doctor Who, and Game of Thrones, what else are you going to watch? You might as well plug into YouTube and check out my channel, okay? One more thing before I go. Hey, if you haven't subscribed already, please click on the subscribe. Leave your comments. I obviously read them all, and I get back to you as soon as possible. And I don't know, I guess that's it. Alright, see you next time.